Welcome back to Autoscope, the place where four wheels, roaring engines, and automotive legends are more than hobbyists, they're a way of life. Picture yourself in 1971, the golden age of American muscle. You twist the key and 440 cubic inches of pure Mopar madness thunder to life beneath the twin-scoop shaker hood. That rumble isn't just noise, it's history, attitude, and raw V8 authority announcing itself to every streetlight in town. Tonight we're diving deep a 38-minute step into one of the most coveted brutes ever to roll out of Hamtramck, the 1971 Plymouth Cuda 440. Buckle in, because by the end of this ride you'll know exactly why the C-body icon still sends shivers through auctions, garages, and late-night batch racing sessions more than half a century later. The moment the legend was born, let's set the stage. Plymouth had carved its name into muscle folklore with the 1970 Cuda, but for 71 engineers sharpened the teeth. The sheet metal got meaner, a split-pointed grille like a shark ready to strike, fender gills punched into the metal, and louver gills on the rear quarters that screamed danger at a glance. Chrysler's E-body remained, but at 186.7 inches bumper to bumper, the Cuda balanced compact aggression with the wheelbase stability needed to tame big block torque. Inside, you slipped beneath a dash that wrapped around like a cockpit. The wood grain applique tilde copyright, rally gauge is glowing red at night, and that pistol grip Hurst shifter angled toward the driver as if daring you to manhandle it. Under the striped billboard decal that could run the entire quarter panel sat the 446, 3-Holley 2 barrels stacked atop an iron block producing a factory-rated 390 horsepower and a mountain-moving 490 pounds-to-feet of torque at 3,200 rpm. Numbers conservative even then. Road tests from car and driver clocked low 13-second quarter miles on polyglass tires, but with slicks and a loose converter owners broke into the high 12s, mind bending in an era before electronic traction control, let alone radial drag rubber. The Cuda wasn't just fast, it bullied the quarter like an angry linebacker, and the howl of the six-pack beneath full throttle sounded like the earth splitting open. From drawing board to blacktop, how did we get here? When Chrysler designers John E. Hurlitz and his team drew the first clay for the 1970 model, they knew 1971 would be the revolutionary step. Insurance companies were squeezing muscle car sales, emissions would soon strangle compression ratios. 1971 had to be outrageous, the final cage drawer before regulations muzzled Detroit. So Plymouth doubled down on wow factor, high-impact paint names like Sassy Grass Green, In Violet, and Moulin Rouge. Even the options list boasted theatrics: elastomeric body color bumpers, chrome road lamps sunken beside the grille, and the notorious gill cutouts that matched the predatory theme. On the strip, the 446 Cuda had to face LS6 Chevels, 429 Super Cobra Jet Mustangs, and freshly minted small block Z/28s. Yet the Mopar retained an ace, a chassis that actually liked corners, with heavy-duty torsion bars up front, reinforced leaves out back, and firm feel steering. You could hustle a Cuda through back road sweepers while your buddy's big block Chevel prayed its drum brakes wouldn't fade. Powertrain deep dive: slide under the hood and you'll find a 4.32-inch bore by 3.75-inch stroke architecture. Chrysler's RB raised block V8. The forged crank spins in 5 main journals, beefier than many semi-truck units of the day. Cast iron heads with 2.08-inch intake valves inhale through that trio of Hollies, 2 outer mechanical secondary 350 CFM carbs and a vacuum-actuated 500 CFM center. When the outboard snapped wide, fuel atomized with a ferocity that left unburned hydrocarbons swirling at idle. A heady perfume for gearheads. Compression, 10.3 to 1, aggressive but still surviving on Sunoco 260 if you timed it right. Exhaust exited through free-flow cast manifolds into a crossover range pipe, the note settling into a lumpy 750 revolution per minute idle that rattled rear-view mirrors. Behind it stood either the legendary A833 4-speed or the bulletproof 727 torque flight automatic. Mopar's Dana 60 rear with 4.10 gears and sure grip differential laid down twin stripes as even as railroad tracks. Driving impression. So then and now imagine cracking the driver's door. The high back bucket hugs you. That woodworm steering wheel is thicker than most modern performance wheels. A twist of the key and the engine fires in 2 revolutions. The idle dancing. You slip the Hurst into first effortful, mechanical. Roll into the throttle. Up to 3,000 revolutions per minute. The 440 feels torquey but civilized. Past that, when the outboard carbs dump fuel, the nose lifts, your spine compresses, and scenery blurs. Second gear lands at 55 miles per hour. Tires scuffing. Third reaches well beyond the speed limits of 1971 America. Yet brake has a mix of front discs and rear drums that remain linear. If you stand on them they fade after 2 hard stabs, reminding you it's 1971. Steering is tight on center but communicates every road seam. At modern Mopar gatherings, owners recount the sensory overload. Exhaust throb refracting off guardrails, the sweet scent of unburned fuel on a cool night, and the way pedestrians instinctively turn long before they actually see the car. Fast forward to 2025, slide a sequel Cuda onto modern 93 octane with hardened valve seats and you'll still register dyno pulls at 400 plus rear-wheel horsepower. Add electronic ignition and modern radials and the car becomes downright tractable. On track days, owners report 0-60 blasts in 4.5 seconds and quarter miles in the mid-12s, all while carrying full steel panels and roll-down windows. Yet the magic isn't numbers, it's the analog engagement. Every rev, every solid mechanical thunk of the Hurst, the smell of octane and vinyl. A 1971 Cuda 440 forces you to be present in ways a modern paddle-shift car never will. Racing pedigree, pop culture footprint. The Cuda's reputation wasn't built only on boulevard grit. In NHRA stock and super stock classes, drivers like Dick Landy and Ronnie Sox campaigned 446-barrel and Hemi Cudas with low 11-second consistency. Road racers Dan Gurney and Swede Savage piloted Cuda Trans Am versions in SCCA, though those used the stroke 303-inch small blocks to meet the 5-liter rule. Even on the silver screen, the Cuda starred, the lemon yellow 440 Cuda convertible and the TV show Nash Bridges, the sinister black Hemi Cuda in Phantasm, and countless cameos in music videos, from Metallica's Fuel to the Fast and the Furious franchise's nod to Dom Toretto's Mopar love affair. Each setting cemented the car's mystique for new generation's colors. Options. Rarity production numbers tell the story of exclusivity. Plymouth built roughly 6,228 total Cuda hardtops in 1971. Of those, only 1,277 carried the 446, and just 237 combined that engine with the 4-speed A unicorn spec. Add an original shaker hood, elastomeric bumpers, and high-impact paint, and you're down to double-digit survivors worldwide. Options like the rare stereo tape deck with microphone let you record voice memos on 8-track while cruising. A 1960s podcasting, if you will. A few cars left the line with the factory sunroof, another handful with the going rear spoiler. Because insurance surcharges spiked on anything over 400 cubes, many buyers settled for 340 or 383 engines. So big block cars lived hard lives with young owners testing limits, making today's unrisked toward survivors worth 6 figures. Restoration Realities collector market. Restoring a Cuda 446 is equal parts love affair and financial calculus, and numbers matching block in rebuildable condition can fetch 5 figures alone. Correct date-coded Holly list number carbs, another several thousand. Interior bits of seat backs, rally cluster bezels, correct 150 mph speedometer have been reproduced, but original part purists still scour swamp meats. Bodywork is the true gauntlet. Cuda quarter panels and trunk floors rust where the factory used foam sound deadener repro metal exists, but aligning those complex quarter gills takes the surgeon's patience. Expect to log 1,200 hours on metal and paint if you want show level gaps, yet the payoff dazzles. In January 2025, Hemi hammered a sassy grass 4-speed Cuda at $335,000, while a fully documented 446 convertible flirted with 7 figures. Unlike fleeting crypto booms, the Mopar market ebbs but never collapses as a passion keeps values buoyant. Modern upgrade as a keeping integrity intact. Many owners walk the resto mod tightrope. How far can you update without diluting soul? Popular upgrades include QA1 tubular K members dropping 70 pounds off the nose, Wilwood 6 pistons front and 4 pistons rear tucked discreetly behind 15-inch rally wheels, and Tremec TKO 5-speed swaps for cruising at 2,100 revolutions per minute instead of 3,800. Viteca hides beneath a stock shaker air cleaner, granting cold start reliability while looking period correct. LED bulbs in rally gauges make nighttime drives legible without breaking the 1971 aesthetic. Purists may cringe, but each mat can be reversed, preserving investment value while making the car livable in 2025 traffic. Lifestyle community owning a Cuda is passport to a Mopar brotherhood. Local meets often revolve around Mopar Rally or C-Body Sunday, but nothing beats the Carlisle Chrysler Nationals where 3,000+ Mopars converge. E-Body Rose sparkle with vitamin C orange, in violet purple, and lemon twist yellow under July sun. Seminars teach 6-pack carb sync nighttime cruise and Zeco with cammed small blocks. Online, forums like CudaChallenger.com archive wiring diagrams, broadcast sheet decodes, and half-forgotten dealership stories. Instagram hashtags #Cuda440 and #6pack Saturday keep the legends scrolling through younger thumbs who've never operated a manual choke but know exactly what an 96 shaker is. The car's cultural reach even spawns die-cast clubs trading 1/18 scale replicas for hundreds of dollars. The passion trickles down to the tiniest details. Myths, misconceptions, FAQs. Myth 1. The 446 is a detuned Hemi. Not true. The two share almost nothing but displacement parity. The 440 makes its grunt via stroke the Hemi via breathing. Myth 2. All Cuda 446 cars had fiberglass hoods. Fact, only the shaker scoop was molded glass. The steel hood underneath was factory. Myth 3. Ethanol fuel ruined 6-pack carbs. Some modern rebuild kits use alcohol-resistant gaskets. Run a stabilizer and you're fine. Frequent question, will a 1971 Cuda fit taller drivers? At 6'4" you'll need a thinner seat cushion, but plenty of NBA height owners drive them. Another, can you daily one? If you accept 10 miles per gallon, warm-up rituals, and constant thumbs-ups at gas pumps. Yes, the car's simplicity makes roadside fixes easier than diagnosing a modern IQ gremlin. Why 1971 was the pinnacle year? Fans debate 1970 versus 1971. While 70 introduced the body style, 71 sharpened aesthetics and kept every hot motor available. 340, 383, 444, 446. Hemi marking the last year before low compression 1972 smog specs. That makes 71 the final uncensored Cuda. The split grille and fender gills appeared only this year, giving it a unique silhouette. Insurance started killing HP, OPEC loomed, but for one shining season Detroit still answered to gearheads, not regulators. That singular convergence makes the 71 446 Cuda the ultimate crystallization of the muscle car era's swagger. Alright, to remember a story time, let me tell you about Mike, a subscriber who wrote in from Lahore. He inherited a sun-baked 71 Cuda Shilano motor, no interior, just dreamed of rumble. Over 3 years he scoured junkyards from Karachi to Karachi Port Cousin, finally locating the numbers correct 440 in a dusty crate labeled tractor spares. Through weekends of busted knuckles, he rebuilt the 6-pack by lantern light, learning advanced curve tuning from our channel's distributor deep dive video. Last March he fired it up, the sound echoing off neighborhood walls, kids cheering. He drives it every Sunday at dawn along the M2 motorway, shifting at 5,500. Feeling connected to a lineage that crossed continents. That, friends, is what muscle history does. Unites strangers through fuel, metal, and shared obsession. Ownership costs, Insurance practicalities, budget beyond purchase price. A complete brake overhaul of rotors, calipers, shoeys runs $1,200 in parts. Proper bias plier reproductions cost $1,500 a set, while modern 15-inch radials slash that in half. Insurance via a collector policy with a $300K agreed value, 5,000 annual miles, and secure garage might run $1,200 or less than you would pay on a new SUV because insurers know owner's baby these. Factor $600 $1,000 per year in maintenance. Oil at 3,000 miles, high zinc Dino, carb rebuild kits every third season, and occasional ignition components. The big surprise is fuel, with 91 octane minimum. Your weekly caffeine budget might rival your gas bill if you commute. But trace every receipt and you'll see an appreciating asset paying you back in smiles, not dividends. Final reflection: so why it still matters. We live in an era of 1,000 horsepower electric sedans that do 0 to 60 in 2 seconds while playing Spotify. Impressive, but sanitized. A 1971 Plymouth Cuda 446-pack forces you to smell unburned hydrocarbons, to modulate throttle by feel, to plan braking zones, to wrestle the steering, and in that very inconvenience lies the reward. It's a mechanical truth serum: no traction nanny, no auto rev match, no turbo lag, just iron, fuel, spark, and you. It reminds us that driving was once an art form, not just transport. And maybe, just maybe, that's why prices climb, YouTube views spike, and kids still hang posters of a 54-year-old car. The Cuda is timeless rebellion cast in steel. If this deep dive into Plymouth's 446-pack beast fired you up, smash that like button like a clutch at 6,000 revolutions per minute. Subscribe so you never miss a ride. And ring the bell because next week we're unlocking the story of Chrysler's forgotten 426 Max Wedge. Drop your Cuda memories or questions in the comments. We answer as many as the work allows. Until then, keep the shiny side up and the revs screaming. This is Autoscope, signing off.